Now, this is a topic that we wish we didn't have to cover. We know the sweet, loving God who created a beautiful world for us, but we also know that this world has been broken with sin and pain. Our campers, no matter what age, are not immune to that sin and pain. Our goal is to respond first with compassion and love of Christ, which often requires correction or even reporting something that is dangerous.
So what's an example of a dangerous situation that may or may not need reporting while at camp?
What's the difference between being a snitch and being a mandated reporter?
We're going to talk about paying attention to the words campers may use and what to do when we hear something that could be dangerous. We have a lot of fun at camp, like a lot. We play a lot of games, we laugh a lot, we eat good food, we sing and dance, we lead awesome Bible studies in small groups, we gently and lovingly force kids to take showers.
But sometimes ministry is hard, and our response as counselors or volunteers is those times are extremely important. This is never more true than when a kid is in a dangerous situation.
As counselors spending so much time with kids and discussing important topics on a regular basis, we are in a position to learn information about their lives that may require action. If you ever suspect or know that a camper is being harmed or causing harm, your quick response is so important.
But where circumstance requires a response, how can we be sure we're not overreacting or underreacting to information? So let's address some situations we may encounter that should always be reported, and who you can report this information to.
When they're harming themselves. Above all else, we should always be paying attention to any situation that could be dangerous or harmful to a kid. Unfortunately, one person who can be a threat to the health and well-being of a kid is that kid themselves. This is not an exhaustive list of warning signs, but here are some that you can be aware of.
Physical signs. This might look like a mark on a kid's body from cutting or otherwise harming themselves. A change in wardrobe that might be strategically hiding marks, or a dramatic change in weight that might suggest an eating disorder. Some of these signs are hard to see in the small window of their lives that we see campers, but these kinds of changes can definitely be seen if they have a dramatic change from camp a year ago.
Concerning comments, depending on how close of a relationship you have with a camper, they might just say out loud some of the struggles they are having with self-harm, which also includes the use of drugs or alcohol. It's important to hear these comments, react with kindness and grace in the moment, but respond appropriately to the seriousness of the situation.
Jokes and downplaying. It's not uncommon for any of us to use humor to mask a serious issue. If a camper is making jokes about suicidal thoughts or any form of self-harm, don't assume these are just a joke.
So, what are some signs to watch out for that could mean a kid is harming themselves?
When they're harming others. This one can be tough to identify because we might not want to see these behaviors as something the kids we love are capable of. However, we're not doing the campers we love any favor if we hear about any potential abuse or harmful behavior they are involved in and choose to say or do nothing about it.
We need to be the types of leaders who call out this kind of behavior and help kids become better and healthier humans. Here are some examples of harmful behavior that can be common among kids.
Bullying. This can look like physical or verbal assaulting someone. Another current culture, especially among older campers, this takes place predominantly online.
Discrimination. Kids can harm others not just by actively attacking them, but by passively dismissing them or excluding them. Watch out for signs of kids treating others as less than for any reason.
What are some signs to watch out for that could mean a kid is harming others?
When they're being harmed. We've looked at a few ways a camper could be harming themselves or others, but what do we do when a kid we know is being harmed by someone else? It might seem unlikely that any of our campers are victims of bullying, harassment, physical or emotional abuse, or sexual assault, but statistically and unfortunately, it's not. Sometimes the signs of abuse can be easier to spot than others. Some common examples are
withdrawing from friends or their usual social activities, changes in behavior like becoming more aggressive or hostile, a sudden loss of self-confidence, physical signs of abuse like bruises, cuts, broken bones, a seeming lack of supervision at home.
However, the signs of abuse or bullying can vary dramatically between one case and the next, so be on the lookout for anything that looks dangerous, painful, or manipulative. What are some signs that you could watch out for that could mean a kid is being harmed?
Who can you go to for help? If you have a reason to believe that a camper is in danger, we have a responsibility to respond. But how?
Respond, don't react. It's natural to want to get involved right away, even if other campers are around, when you learn that something is potentially harmful. This may not always be the best or most necessary course of action. Respond first with kindness and grace, then after you've had a chance to think through the situation, follow through with action.
Connect with your director, a more experienced counselor, or the camper's local pastor. You are not responsible to respond to any difficult situation on your own. You are a part of a team of people, the entire body of Christ, even to help process the information and come up with the most appropriate response, of course, of action in a given situation. Lean on them as allies.
When in doubt, ask for help. If you find yourself in a situation where you aren't sure if this constitutes harm, or if you think it's possible a child is facing neglect at home but you can't confirm it, ask for help. Our team of counselors, directors, and other volunteers, we're here to help in doing what is best for our kids.
So who would you go to first if you were facing a dangerous or even a questionable situation?
It's our responsibility to do everything in our power to keep campers safe. So please, be aware, be ready to respond, and know that you have a community to work with as needed. What questions do you still have about how to handle dangerous situations?